Welcome to the Usher. I'm your host, B-Flow. This show is being sponsored by our friends Punky's Pizza and Pasta, located at 2600 South Wallace, my personal favorite eatery in the neighborhood. They have the best selections of pizzas and pastas, as well as sandwiches and salads of any spot in Bridgeport. Currently, they have what they are calling the Pizza Happy Hour, Mondays and Tuesdays only, between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. You order a pizza from Punky's, and you get 50% off. Yes, you heard that correctly. 50% off of pizzas ordered Mondays and Tuesdays between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. How in the world can you get the 50% off the best pizza in Bridgeport? The Pizza Happy Hour. Hit the website, punkyspizza.com, for all your carryout or delivery needs, or to cater your next party. You can also call 312-842-2100. The Scarlotta family will take care of you. Punky's Pizza and Pasta. The 108ers are hosting a live event this Sunday, May 18th at noon. Sunday fun day, if you will. We're hosting a live podcast and road watch of White Sox against Cubs at Cork at the Park, 3259 South Princeton. Come out and join us. There'll be drink specials, food specials. We'll be giving away a bunch of White Sox goodies, and, of course, great conversation with us. That's Sunday, May 18th at noon. Be there at Cork at the Park. Last but not least, this show is powered by you, the 108 supporter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to tickle the undercarriage in the process. Like, comment, turn on notifications, and most definitely super chat, because that's how we get paid, and that's how we continue to make the content you know and love. Tonight's guest. He's an infamous character of White Sox Twitter. He once beat Gabriel Bearstown in a controversial foot race outside of Sox Park. He defeated me in a court case on Ray the Barber's Juke Joint YouTube channel about whether or not he was a secret Cubs fan, a perennial force in the 108 tourney, the last Joan Moncada stand and a Bud man since he was 13 years old. Matt Crawford, welcome to the Au, my friend.
Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor to be here.
It's good to finally do this where there's not legal precedent going on and we're battling against each other. This time we're on the same side. We're going to have some fun with this, I believe.
No, yeah. I mean, last time we were, on the airwaves together is when you took my ass to court for some heinous allegations, right, of being a Cubs fan. I don't know where all that came from, where that comes from. I have no idea.
There was a lot of evidence. I'm not saying. I'm just saying there was evidence out there.
Court would see otherwise, and thank God I had the dream team of Justin and NWI Steve. R.I.P. To mitigate the case.
Not in real life, just his Twitter R.I.P. But
that's true. So, that's true. So I just want to say that for the record, and let the documents show, I am officially a White Sox fan. I'm not a Cubs fan.
That's correct. That's right, and cleared in court. So that's an official thing. I don't only owe you an apology probably for that, but I also screwed you out of the 108 tourney a few years back. We can bring this up right now, as I figure we should. We saw each other towards the end of the season at Cork, and we're hammered or whatever. And I'm telling you some stuff, and you're like, well, I'm gonna take a little hiatus from Twitter, so don't forget about me when I say, oh, don't worry, you're in, Crawford, you're in. And we got all the way to make the bracket, and I had forgotten about that. And I'm like, Crawford's nowhere to be found. I told the boys, I'm taking Crawford out. And they're like, are you sure, man? Crawford's popular. He's like, nah, he's not even on Twitter or nothing like that. You come sailing back in like, what the fuck? Where did I go? My apologies, man. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's all good, brother. It's all good. Yeah, beginning of the year, I always try to take a little break, right? Just get off the Twitter, try to get off social media and, just kind of cleanse the soul. And no, it's fine. I mean, I never know when I'm coming back. It might be a month, it might be 2-3 months, but no, it's all good. So, I've had a lot of fun in the tournament since going against Gabriel and everybody. I've had some epic battles, so no, it's all good, brother.
How does that work? The detoxing, does it work for you well, man? I'm curious about it because I can detox maybe from Sunday at 6 when I pass out drunk. Till Monday at 8 a.m. I'm like, all right, I need to check stuff now. I can't even do that long of it. I don't know.
It definitely works. It takes a little bit of getting used to, right? I mean, I'll say I kind of lurk still, right? But I'm not going to interact with anybody. I'm not going to like anything. I'm not going to retweet anything. So I definitely think it helps. And in a few weeks I'm going up to Canada. If they let me back, if they let me in, I don't know. We'll see how things go. Completely off the grid. So yeah, that's looking forward to that.
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
Yeah, it will be.
Well, I had you on tonight because I wanted to talk about people that attend Wrigley Field occasionally that are Sox fans. I'm going to be honest with you. I have corporate stuff, and the company, they never want to go to Sox games, even though I'm tight with my boss. My boss is a Cubs fan, but I tell him, I'm friends with Brooks Boyer, man. We can get a suite, all this stuff. He's like, nope, we're going to Wrigley, and we go to Wrigley every single time. And so I end up in Wrigley Field, even though I'm not a Cubs fan. And so I always ask some of the questions, like, how do you behave in here? And so I wanted to bring on an expert, someone who might know just, from the corporate experience.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you've gone to Wrigley Field more than I have. And real quick, I have a specific shirt, The Wire. I don't know if you can see it. And just want to go back to the court case.
Love it.
Omar Little, RIP, had a great quote. If you come at the king, you best not miss. You took a shot, you missed. But here I am, right? I'm a team player. I've never been to Wrigley. I've never been to a Cubs game.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But, I've been asking around, I've been on the ground. I've been interviewing people, and I did come up with, a list. I think how it's.
I appreciate your preparation, even though you've never stepped foot in Wrigley Field. Allegedly as well. But because maybe there was a fair amount of evidence from before. We're not going to bring any of that up currently, right this second.
Okay, that's good. And I do have some breaking news. I will be in attendance. I will be going to my first Cubs game on Friday. To see my favorite Chicago team play. So I will be at Wrigley Field for the first time.
Nice.
But, like I said, I've done some legwork. I think I have a few points that can help make your time at Wrigley less miserable, if you follow them and go from there. So
I like it. Well, let's get right into it. Go ahead. Start with your first point. Let's say you were going to Wrigley Field, but you're a White Sox fan. What would you do first?
Well, my first point is, I'm a big double D guy. Love double Ds. But you know what I like better? Triple Ds. And by that, I mean deny. Deny you ever went there, okay? Say you have a corporate outing, whatever, family, friends. Take it from me. You don't want any evidence that you went there. Because there isn't a day that goes by where I'm not harassed on social media, right? I see my friends. So that picture right there, that allegedly looks somebody like me, right?
It looks a little bit like you. It could be, right?
I mean, it's a great looking dude. I think he has huge calves. It's hard to tell that picture's cut off. And I think that's Ronnie Woo, Hawaiian.
Pretty handsome, Ronnie Woo. That does look like Northside. I mean, that signage behind it looks like
it's something that looks like I would wear, but it just, you can't tell from that angle, right? So a lot of misinformation and fake news is on the Twitter. The cesspool, that's White Sox Twitter. They like to constantly bombard me and say I was there, tag me when I never was. So number one, just deny. Fortunately,
Alex Rude says that could be anywhere in Chicago. He's totally right. That could be. There's homes like that. There's trees. Ronnie Woo Woo is everywhere in Chicago, not just here. Yeah. So I totally agree. That's a good
absolutely. Call. And I mean, I'm built a little different, so I can take it, right? I can take the heat. Some people may not. So I just recommend if you go, just don't tell anybody.
Just deny.
Yeah, and I think, also, I think there's some people on Twitter, specifically My Sox Summer, that I think should be getting more of these accusations of being a Cubs fan. Just the other day, right, he's saying how his favorite players of all time, or he got into baseball or pitching from
he got into liking pitchers duels from Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. Yeah. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, whoa, what is that?
Stunned. So
even if that's true, don't put that out there, man.
No. So hopefully some of the heat can come off of me and go where it rightfully belongs of somebody that's truly a Cubs fan like My Sox Summer. So that's number one.
I think it's a strong play to deny right out of the gate. Deny. Don't even tell people I had something going on, whatever, and don't even bring it up. I agree with that. Because people run with things and they go crazy. You just can't. You can't.
Very sad. It's very sad. So the next point is, right, say you get out there, there's no tailgating there, right? So one thing I do recommend is go to some of the bars, hang out, have a few drinks. You're not paying $20 inside, right? I don't know many of the bars. I mean, I've heard of maybe like one of them, like Bernie's or Murphy's or Cubby Bear or Old Crow or Sluggers or Sports Corner or Happy Camper or Lucky Door, which is by the Cubs gift shop in Gallagher Way. These are just places I've heard about. Never frequented.
Not been inside. No, there's no what's up.
But go to the bar before the game. And, one thing that's good too is you don't even have to go in the game. You can just not go into the stadium. You can stay there for the fourth, fifth inning, right? To minimize your time at Wrigley Field. So that's one thing I recommend. Go there, get early, right? Go to the bar and just stay there for as long as you can until you have to go in.
Very strong play for any baseball game, personally, in my opinion. The drinks are cheaper at the bar. Bar atmospheres are a lot of fun. Nothing wrong with that. So I like that call, and they're all in close proximity. Wrigley, it's not like Sox Park. You stumble out the door at Wrigley, and there's a bar right there. It's not like you got to walk across Armour Park and get to a great bar like Cork and Kerry, like we go to after Sox games. Exactly. You got a little more closer proximity. So I like this. It's a very good tip number 2, Crawford. What's the tip number 3?
So number 3 is actually get a rooftop ticket. Okay. So once again, you're not in Wrigley Field. It's about $100 a ticket. I've heard all you can eat, all you can drink, right? You're going to be outside. You're not going to be stuck behind some column or whatever it is, inside the stadium. You might even get lucky and get an obstructed view of the stadium. You might be behind a scoreboard, right?
Yep.
And I think that'll just make your experience that much better. So highly recommend if you go, get a package, get a rooftop ticket with some family, friends, clients, whatever it is.
Now, allegedly, if you were going to go to the rooftop, let's just say you were actually going, because this is all alleged. Not that you would have actually done this, but are you a guy who you're hitting the food right away when you get there, food first and then plow the drinks, or are you a plow drinks and then as they're getting ready to close the food up, you're grabbing a couple hot dogs and going to town? What direction do you recommend a White Sox fan going into?
So I'm notorious for not eating when I drink, and I don't know why. So if I do go, I got to just try to eat something immediately and then just carry on with my day drinking. So I'm conscious of it. I'm working on it, but I would recommend eating and then just see where the day takes you. And
then just let it flow. Okay.
Exactly.
And those, they can get dangerous because, like, as you mentioned, it is all you can drink. And the bartenders, they're very receptive to tips. So they will let you drink as much as you want to drink. It's a situation.
Hook them up.
Exactly. All right. Now, what's up next?
So the next point is, Cubs fans are constantly complaining about the South Side and Bridgeport and the cell, like I call it. So if you go to a stadium, if you go to Wrigley, fucking complain about, throw it right back in their face, complain about their stadium, right? Complain about how you couldn't find parking and how you had to circle the block for 45 minutes and you ended up at some weirdos behind their 3-flat in an alley that you're probably going to get boxed in at. That cost you $100, right?
Yeah, parking's crazy up there. Yep.
Or say that you had to survive the red line. Sorry, Maddie. And you were assaulted at the Addison stop. When you go in the stadium, complain how if you look up, there's netting up top, and you know what that's from? That's so concrete doesn't hit you in the head. The stadium is collapsing, even with all the renovations. It's total dumb. So just give it to them, right? If you go early in the spring, complain how the ivy looks like shit because it's dead. Complain about the baskets, even though, they probably would have saved the young man in Pittsburgh. So hopefully he's doing okay. But overall, that would have been the one time it would have worked.
Exactly.
So just give it to them, hammer the stadium, tell how bad it is and how miserable that whole area is.
Yeah, the only thing the stadium those baskets ever do is catch Madrigal's bullshit home run against the Sox that one year. That I remember about the basket. But otherwise, you're right. It's supposed to catch drunk fans. I can't remember a drunk fan being in there. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. And the place used to be a total shithole. It's only half a shithole now. Wrigley Field. At least you can get around it a little bit now. Before you'd be boxed out of places. They didn't have no food selection and no beer selection. Although I love old style, so it's fine by me. But I know you're a Bud man. You can get the Bud, but some people don't like it.
Yeah, I'll partake in old style from time to time. So I try not to admit it, but it is a good beer. So
it's a good beer. And you're right. There's no parking. They used to have that players parking lot that was right out in front, which was kind of cool. But now that park is there, so now it's not even the feigning of a little bit of a parking area. I don't know where you park around there. I just assume you Uber or like you said, park in someone's fucking backyard or the garage or wherever the fuck.
Or maybe you live close by and you can just walk to the stadium. For some people it's only a 22-minute walk if you time it out. I don't know who those people are, but that's another option if you do live in the north side.
Love it. All right, what's up next, Matt? On our tips here, top 10 tips.
So dress code, big dress code guy, right?
Good call.
I just had the game on Saturday, against the Marlins, and you see idiots wearing full decked out in Cubs gear. Do not be that guy at a Cubs game if the Sox are not playing. Yes. No one likes that guy at any stadium. This really goes across any sport, any stadium, right? Do not be that guy wearing Cowboys gear when the Bears are playing the Packers. So don't be full decked out in Sox gear, right? If you are going to wear Sox gear, be very subtle, right? Like, for instance, this hat, it's a C.
Right.
Cubs fans are going to think it's a Cubs hat because they're not intelligent. It's actually a Sox hat, right? So if you are going to wear something, be very subtle.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you go with customers, do not, and I repeat, do not wear Cubs gear, okay? And then say, well, I'm a Chicago fan. When somebody asks, aren't you a Sox fan? That is uncalled for.
I agree.
That is some of the worst stuff ever. And it's like, I know you're why? Well, I'm a Chicago fan. Just don't be that person.
Absolutely. No, that's 100%. And don't kowtow to the corporate powers. You are what you are, okay? We're a small minority in the corporate sphere. As I mentioned to you before this, we could, I always wanted to do Sox games for my company. We couldn't do them. because everyone's Cubs fans except me. I'm the one Sox fan in the office. I don't care. I wear it loud and proud. Now, let me ask you this, though, Matt. Can I get away with wearing some 108 gear, or is that too overtly White Sox? Or does it feel a little more neutral? Let's say I got a Wave Sox shirt on. Is that Sox gear, or is that just general baseball gear and I'm not in trouble?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I don't think they would know.
Okay.
I mean, some fans would be, but the general fan base there are corporate people from out of town, people with dementia, college kids that just want to drink underage.
Yeah.
So I think you'd be safe. I don't think it would stand out that much if you wore some 108 gear. I think you'd be fine. I think that'd be acceptable.
Beautiful. No, I love that very much. And you go ahead. Do you also like when you're not wearing Sox gear there? Do you make sure to wear like black so that you're kind of representing, but you're not representing the Sox stuff? Because I see some people go with that. Like Sox fans will go with that realm right there. I'm just going to wear something that's black. No. So you know who I am, but I'm not disrespecting the rule here.
Yes, I think that's fair. I think that's a very safe and respectful play.
Okay.
And when all else fails, just wear the opposing team's gear, right? Like I went to,
exactly.
I've been to a Cardinals game against somebody before, and I had some Cardinals gear that I put on, and just to troll a little bit. So
that's fair.
That's okay too. So don't hesitate to wear the opposing team's gear, whoever's playing the Cubs.
That's a great call. As long as they're not AL Central foe, I like that idea. All right, what's up next on the list here, man?
So a few quick ones, just as far as Wrigley traditions, right? The 7th inning stretch, a big one. I've never been a 7th inning stretch guy. If I want to stretch in the 6th inning, I'm going to do that. But I'm definitely not going to do it when a drunk hologram is singing a song with everybody else. So I don't partake in it. I'm going to sit down. Yeah. It's going to be, I'm just not going to partake in it. Now, one tradition that I actually would partake in is throwing the ball back, right?
Okay.
Big and Wrigley. Yeah, exactly. An opposing team hits a home run, fan throws it back. I'm a proponent of that, right? If you're at a Cubs game and you catch a home run ball, you throw it back, they're going to kick you the fuck out of the stadium. So you can be out of the stadium for, 10, 15 minutes, like of time in there. Like, so if you get a home run ball, do not hesitate. Don't give it to a kid.
Fire it.
Fire it. Maybe hit PC AAA or close. Kidding, but, just throw it back. Big fan of that.
Before we get to the next one, a good buddy of yours, Gabriel Bearstown, says, what about Cub snakes? Are you a fan of Cub snakes out there, Crawford?
No. I think it's stupid. I think I don't know if it was last summer or 2 summers ago. It started happening, on the south side. I mean, frankly, I was disgusted. So, not a fan of that.
Remember when the Cub snakes first came out? The Barstool Chicago guys were like 108ers. What do you think about the Cub snakes? We're like, fuck those Cub snakes. We ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
We're just coming out of COVID, and then we got Cub snakes. Wait, let's slow it down a little bit with everyone's saliva everywhere. Okay, let's just relax. Let's be okay.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
So general etiquette.
Yeah.
Just the other week, I was in Milwaukee to see one of my favorite National League Central teams play. And then afterwards, I went to Potawatomi Casino. I'm a big blackjack guy.
Attaboy.
So when I go to the casino, I have etiquette, right? When I sit down at a table playing blackjack, I'm going to politely ask when I can join the shoe. Mid-shoe, I'm not going to blow up somebody's run or whatever it is. If they need help, okay, I'll jump right in.
Absolutely.
The same applies to going to a baseball game, right? If I go to the concessions or restroom, I'm not going to go in the middle of a play. I'm going to wait for a break in the action. At Wrigley Field, fuck that. Go right in the middle of the play. Who cares, right? Just make people get up, middle of the play. I mean, don't be polite.
Just run right through there. I like this.
Exactly. And like using the restroom. So, at the cell, I'm kind of a gatekeeper on busy days for the bathroom. I don't like when people enter through the exit signs to jump the line.
Agreed. Yeah.
Do that there. Fuck those people. Jump the line, right? Get right in. Yeah. You're not waiting for anybody. So I think just a little reverse psychology with the etiquette when you're there.
Yeah, just do the opposite. No one knows anyway. There's a lot of tourists and stuff that don't know what they're doing anyway. So you're not really violating in general, even though you know that you're violating it. You're just making your life easier while you're there. I like that. I love this approach right here.
They have no clue. Now, and speaking of the bathrooms, the troughs.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if the female audience is aware that the men's bathrooms in Wrigley Field, they make you use the restroom in something that pigs are fed slop in. giant troughs, right? There's no partitions, there's no nothing.
The length of the wall is a gigantic trough. I've even broken up into smaller troughs, but regardless, and you are hip to hip with the other gentleman, with it out. Yeah, that's right.
There's no drainage. Like they don't even have ice in it. You go to a Wisconsin bar or whatever, maybe you go into a dive bar and they have a trough, that's a single person trough with a bucket of ice they keep filling in. So
yeah,
don't be an animal. Just wait in line for a urinal or a stall. There's sick videos out there and with all these, measles and all these diseases people are saying because of the lack of vaccines. I don't think it's from that. I think it's because people are still jumping into the troughs and whatever is festering in there is getting too real. So
the backsplash off of everyone. Oh man, that's just a disgusting thought. And I usually go right for the troughs. I've been a trough user, Crawford, because I thought, well, when in Rome. I kind of thought, well, when in Rome. I'm not worried. If they want to look, they can look, whatever. But now I'm seeing your light. I'm seeing light here because who knows what kind of gross stuff is going to pop back out of there.
We're a higher class of people. So, I
got to get right,
Well, we'll see next time you're there, which I'm sure is going to be suit before me. But
sure. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I got two more. So
beautiful.
Bring earplugs. Okay. I'm talking some industrial grade 100 decibel earplugs. And I'll tell you why. If you're at a game and the Cubs happen to win, they are going to play one of the worst songs and most cringe songs known to man. And you're going to have 30, 40,000 people sing it in unison. I don't care if you have AirPods that are noise canceling or just something that you do not have to experience that, because I'm telling you, it is worse than hell on earth. So just be prepared in case they fly the W and not the L.
And they do all sing along to it. When it starts, it's all of them. They're all in on it, on that crappy, goofy song. I cannot believe it, but you're 100% right. Usually I'm trying to make a beeline out of there by the time they're getting to the point where they're going to sing that. I don't want to be in the stadium at all, but if you're trapped, I agree with your advice. Get some big cans like this, like I got on my ears right now doing this podcast, and block all that shit out. You do not want to hear that sound poison.
You need to be at least a mile away, because say you happen to live in the area, you can hear it. I mean, sound just kind of carries, and sometimes you can hear it when the wind is blowing right. So just bring some earplugs.
Sound device, very sound device.
Now the last one, and it might be most important. I'm a man of peace. I'm a family man.
Absolutely.
And with the Pope being a Sox fan, I've been a religious man for as long as I can remember. I am totally against violence. Okay. Yep. I do not condone violence. I do not condone fighting. I don't know if you've ever seen the video of the old gentleman in the bleachers saying an unwritten rule is there's no fighting in the bleachers. I'm telling you, there's fighting in the bleachers. Okay. So just be prepared.
All right.
I'm not going there to start anything, but if something goes down, just be prepared, because you do not want to shame the South Side being viral and getting your ass beat on TV. So
that's a great point. Yes.
And for the record, I'm actually 1-0 in combats around Wrigleyville. I won't get into details.
Documented record. Want to know? Like
documented. I'm 1-0, and next time I'm in the 108. If anybody wants to hear the story, it's a good one. But like I said, I won't get into details. Let's just say it started with a Michael Barrett-esque sucker punch to my face. But thank God I'm like AJ Przinsky. I don't have a glass jaw, so handle business. Do not look for anything. Do not start stuff. But if you got to go, just win.
Incredible 10 tips from Matt Crawford for a White Sox fan going to Wrigleyville, going to Wrigley Field. We really appreciate that, Matt. I want to get into some White Sox stuff now. I've stolen away a lot of your time here to talk about Wrigley, but let's talk about the White Sox. You're a big White Sox guy. You got a lot of thoughts. I've seen them out there on the Twitter, and I want to get in on some of this stuff. Now, you, my friend, are the last Moncada stain on Twitter, anywhere else. And I'm sure over the course of his career, you believe he received a lot of unfair criticism. Which White Sox on the current squad do you think is receiving unfair criticism? Then the fans should give him a little better shake right now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Moncada thing was tough. That mask I just had on the screen, I would wear that every time I was watching the Sox at home, and I pulled it off the fridge. It just reminds me of my Cuban King and the good times. But there's another one that I'm a big fan of, and that's that I feel like got a lot of undeserved criticism early on, and I feel like that's starting to level off. But that's Miguel Vargas. Okay, we all saw the picture last year that went viral, right? Of being traded for a team that was destined for the World Series to a team that was destined to be one of the worst in baseball history. And I think his performance, kind of followed that last year.
Yeah.
I think, he showed up to camp. I wouldn't say in the best shape of his life. He put on 25 pounds. It wasn't reported as muscle. It was just 25 pounds, right?
He had to get heavier, man. He needed to hit the ball harder. He's got to get heavier.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody was saying, last year that the Sox lost a trade for these guys. I just think it was premature. And if you look at his stats, the last 15 games, the guy's carrying almost a 900 OPS. He's playing decent third base, nowhere near as good as Moncada, but he's holding his own. He's actually been much better than I ever thought.
Me too.
And he's playing a competent first base. And one reason that he won me over personally just happened the other day. There was that rogue broken bat when he was playing first.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. He gets hit by it. It looks like he's down for good. Like he's an Eloy or whoever, right? That he's just done, just falls.
Yeah.
He actually still made the play. He stayed in the game. And then he hit a double the next at bat. And I'm like, holy fuck, I love this guy. I love him so much so. So I've actually married into a Vargas family. I love him so much. I might change my last name to Vargas. Okay, I'm that high on Miguel Vargas.
I love it. You'd be play cousins. Yeah. That's like Teresi and I with Brian Ramos. We're play cousins. I got the same surname. So I like this. I like this approach there. You're totally right about Vargas, though. Vargas had that bad run last year. And in the offseason, I was writing stuff and putting stuff on here like, they're going to give him a fair shot. They just traded for this guy or whatever. People were like, get this guy the fuck off my team. He stinks or whatever. He's been a good third baseman. Yes. And once they made the adjustment with his hands, he's hitting the piss out of the ball. And so, everyone's just got to wait a beat or two. Enough NFL-style reactions of 1 or 2 weeks of ball.
Yeah.
Baseball. This should take 6 months. Let's pull back a little bit. Let's see what happens. And he put on the weight, and he did all the stuff he was told to do, and now he's starting to reap the benefits. He got a little banged up, like you mentioned, with the bat. I hope he starts feeling better and gets back in the lineup a little more. Because I didn't enjoy watching Josh Rojas at third. That's not.
It's been bad. It's been bad. I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, he was great when he was mic'd up, but playing third base, it looks. I mean, he looks like Jake Berger out there. It's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe his big broken toe still hurts. I have no idea. I don't want to throw anything at Rojas, but he's looked a little rough there. So I love the Vargas call. Now, with regards to Vargas, he's one of the early jewels of Chris Getz trades, and Chris Getz has gotten some criticism for some of the trades, for some of the things you've done early on. Give me your high level thoughts on the Getz rebuild versus the Hahn rebuild. What do you like? Don't like? Are you close to becoming with Ken W.O. and being a Getz bot, or are you just kind of like in the middle watching, or do you not like this stuff so far?
So I don't know if people know this about me, but I am a huge rebuild guy. I fucking love it. And one reason why is I have no stress when I know and expect them to lose every night, right?
Yep.
And then I can just go on MILB.com and see like, oh, hey, this prospect did okay. And you got 4 teams to choose from. And, hey, this guy did okay. So, I'm actually a big rebuild. I'm a big prospect guy. Okay. So, in my opinion, and I was actually on board when Hahn, right, and started making all of those trades, obviously, for Moncada and everybody. But one issue with his rebuild, which I think was the most glaring issue, was the farm was so top-heavy. Right. Yeah. There was no depth. And Rick Hahn talked about critical mass all the time, never came anywhere near to achieving that. So as soon as Moncada or whoever went down, right, there was nobody behind them other than, people like Billy Hamilton playing their ass off for 2 months randomly and Jake Lamb. There was just nothing that was sustainable.
Brian Goodwin or someone like that.
Exactly.
Crotchety guy.
Exactly. And then on top of that, right, they couldn't draft, right? They wasted picks on safe players like Andrew Vaughn or, Nick Madrigal, right? And they never replenished the farm. And those guys ended up being bust, in my opinion. And in addition to that, the Han-led international scouting, right, with Marco Patti, they just kept signing 30-year-old Cubans, and never changed anything. So there was no wave of talents to go behind at the time, some premier prospects. And when they went down, it just really all went to shit. I think Chris Getz is doing a much better job on a lot of fronts. Number one, I mean, he's just completely revamping the developmental side, right? Bringing in Brian Bannister, bringing in Ryan Fuller. And I know it's a lot of bad players, but their approach seems much better. They're taking more pitches. They're walking. You're seeing innings every once in a while where they're at 25, working 25 pitches in an inning, right? And like last year,
man, we would love to see this before.
yeah, it would never happen. So like, in addition to that, David Keller from the Mets, now he's the international scouting director. I mean, it's going to be years before we see whatever happens with that. But I mean, it's completely revamped the development department. And then also the analytical department, right? I mean, they're putting resources in there. I have a source that said that Rick Hahn actually sent people or was somehow involved with the Rays to see like kind of how they do things. And basically Hahn didn't do anything with that information and just kept doing the status quo. And you saw how that worked out. So I think, people see the record and they want to shit on Getz, and I get it. It's frustrating as bad as they are, but you really have to truly rebuild from the ground up, and things are going to take time. People forget that I'm not saying they'll be the Astros. The Astros lost 100 games 3 years in a row before they turn it on. Things take time, but I think he's making some good moves. We'll see what happens. I think they're drafting much better, right? Yeah. I mean, not picking Jack might bite us in the ass.
He's looking real good right now.
Oh my God. But like Hagen Smith, right? If he can get rein in his walks, I mean, that guy's a front end starter, right? I mean, he's looking good. He's still striking out a ton of people. And then just the other day, their second round pick, Caleb Bonner, Baseball America releases their top 100, updated top 100 list. Caleb Bonner is now a top 100 on the Baseball America list. People probably don't even know who the hell that is. And Getz took a shot at somebody that is young with upside. And I hope they continue to do that in their drafts this year with the 10th pick. Next year, they're going to likely get another high pick. I don't want them to play it safe, and I don't think he has played it safe. It's only one draft, but I think if they can continue that, more upside plays, more risk, I think that's kind of some of the things that are separating Getz from Hahn.
I mean, I love it all, Crawford. And I think in general, he's casting a much wider net. Like the fact that a little while ago, the White Sox had 3 Rule 5 guys on the roster is just an example of we're just looking everywhere for stuff. Now, I know they DFA'd Gage Workman after he got back from his IL stint. That's fine. But, obviously Shane Smith and Mike Bell, they're doing well,
Fetty,
right? I mean, they're doing well.
Even finding Fetty, right? I mean, they're
being willing to take a shot at a guy coming back from Korea and being the highest bidder. And, he ends up flipping them and then turns them into more prospects. But it seems like they're looking everywhere for the stuff. Whereas, like you mentioned, the Hahn thing was so one-dimensional. And he almost was like so slow to get rid of something when it wasn't working or just try something different. It was just like, geez, like, can you not see like this? Try something else. Like, filter some more waiver bait through here and see if we catch some lightning in a bottle. Which, hey, Getz might not find much, but at least they're giving a shot here to try it.
No, and Hahn spent all the resources in free agency on the bullpen, right? I mean, it'd be great to have an extra arm or two, but to have most of your resources go to that, I just think is foolish. Now, at the end of the day, Jerry still owns a team, and whoever it is, Hahn or Getz, is going to be restricted.
Right?
Hopefully, Ishbia takes over sooner than later, and we unleash hell on the league. But just with how they have to operate, with their limitations, I just think that so far Getz has been doing a better job. We'll see what happens. It's still early, but things take years. But I think he's off to a good start. Absolutely.
I mean, if his build style does work, and the White Sox then do get all the Ishbia money, we are going to be so obnoxious out there. We are just Sox fans are going to be you thought it was bad 2020. We're going to be ridiculously obnoxious. We get that money behind us and they get the right build in this. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Can't wait.
All right. One last thing for you, Crawford. You're the major proponent I see out there in the Twitterverse of #promote.
Yes.
Anytime a prospect does something, you mentioned your big prospect guy. Anytime a prospect guy does something, #promote. I see you tweet this out there. Give me 3. right now that you need hashtag promoted ASAP as possible. Tim Elko probably would have been one of them, but over the weekend, since I sent you the agenda, over the weekend, he came here and he delivered too. He had a home run on Sunday. So like he's starting to do it. Who are your guys right now? Hashtag promote. Who's out there?
So OG White Sox Twitter might remember this hashtag, and that was Winkle Jones was right. Now, maybe this guy's a distant cousin, but I'm going with Winkleman Gonzalez. Okay. Yes. He was the fourth piece of the Crochet deal. They just transitioned him from a starter to a reliever. He's in AAA Charlotte. 6 innings, 1 hit, .67 whip. Now, he still is walking a few guys, but he's already on the 40-man, right? And if he might be an option to be a long reliever. He's pitching 2 innings in appearance his first 3 games in Charlotte. So
glad to see them actually make a decision on a guy and say, look, it's over. You're a reliever now. Let's go. Yeah.
I mean, the pen is awful. Thank God they just got rid of Penn Murphy. But I think Winkleman Gonzalez already being on the 40-man sooner than later is worth an opportunity. And if he's still walking a few guys, but he's striking it out and he's not giving up a lot of contact, I like kind of a wild man in the bullpen. So I'm all for it. Churn and burn, baby.
I love it. All right. That's the first one. Who else? Give me another one.
So the next guy, hopefully I get his name right. Javier Mogollon.
Yes. Okay. He's about this big, but he hits for a ton of power.
Yes, he hits for a ton of power. 19-year-old, $75,000 signing out of Venezuela. Currently has a 19% walk rate. Last year he had, if he was in Arizona League, whatever it was, I think it was 35% K rate. He has it down to like 25%, right? So he's trending in the right direction.
Big steps.
He's got a 967 OPS, 171 OPS plus, and he sold 11 bases. So 5'8", which means he's probably 5'6", which means he's probably the next Altuve.
I was gonna say it's a lot of power from a small guy. Like I heard about him last year and it's like, well, it's a lot, it's a ton of strikeouts. So who knows? And this year it looks like he's figured out that part of it at least. So
he's the exact opposite of Nick Madrigal, right? I mean,
exactly.
Strikes out, hits for power, walks,
hit a ton. That's right.
Steals bases, So that's my second guy.
I love it. You got one more for me, Crawford? One more. Hashtag promote.
I got one more, and this guy is a fucking stud, is Braden Montgomery. Holy shit, this kid. Switch hitter, right? I mean, I think when it's all said and done, Teal and Montgomery were kind of like the co-headliners. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Braden Montgomery is going to be the clear headliner of that deal. Promoted to high A, 2 weeks ago? He's got a 1.2 OPS. I mean, just fucking mashing. Okay. I don't know if it's Terezi's meme, the Eloy 70 home run thing.
Yeah, that's him. The 74 homers. Yeah.
Braden Montgomery. Okay. He's got that kind of power. This kid is a monster, cannon of an arm. I really believe that he is going to be the right fielder finally of the future. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's in Birmingham in a few weeks by the end of the month, the way he's mashing. I mean, guys, kid's been incredible.
That's crazy. The tools are off the charts. And I remember hearing the whispers. He didn't play last year because he'd been hurt. He got hurt, and they didn't even play in the College World Series, I don't think. And then Boston couldn't play him because he was injured. And I remember all the stuff was like, well, the swing and miss. He improved on the swing and miss, but they're worried he's going to come in and strike out. And all he's been doing is hitting the daylights out of the ball at low A, now at high A. And like you mentioned, I almost wonder, like, is it too quick to move him up? But if he keeps dominating, what else do you do with the guy? Like, what are you going to do? Let him play in a little kids league and kick everyone's ass? You got to bring him up at some point, right?
His numbers have only gotten better. I know it's only been a week or so, but like, at what point are you? I mean, the guy was a college bat. It's not like he's a prep bat. So if he's going to mash, I mean, move him up, and the real challenge is going to be Birmingham.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's where hitters go to die. So if you hit for some power in Birmingham, then you got it.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's my last guy, and I think he might be one of the saviors in the future for this team.
Oh, man, I love to hear it. Man, thanks for sharing your 10 tips for being a Sox fan at Wrigley, the Gets rebuild, and who to promote. Remember, we ain't trying to be right on the show. We're just trying to understand. Anything you want to plug before you go, my friend?
No, I'm good. Just if anybody's around Wrigley Field on Friday, maybe you can show me around. Maybe you can give me some tips and, help me out, just being my first time there. So I'm excited to see my White Sox win on Friday in person. So
that boy. Take care, Matt. Good seeing you, my friend.
We'll see you, brother.
Bye-bye. That was Matt Crawford. That was great. Next week's guest. Unfortunately, friends, I'm not going to have a guest next week. I'm going to do a little solo show. I've got some stuff on my mind that I want to get out there. Things that probably don't fit in the 108 podcast. So we'll do a quickie here. Then off Memorial Day, And then June 2nd, Ken W.O. will be back up in this spot. He's finally got some shit on his mind that he wants to get out to all the rest of us. So thanks to Punky's Pizza and Pasta and all the 108 families up in the YouTube comments. We appreciate you smashing the like button. Join the show. We'll see you on Thursday. We're going to have Barstool Carl talking about the Cubs with us on the 108 podcast. I love all of you. Bye-bye.